So hey everyone, how you doing today? Ben Benson here, Performance Capability. So today I'm going to share with you the Performance Capability headquarters. So this is my home. So we're going to show you the room that we're going to use as our head office. And we are absolutely bootstrapping this thing. We're starting out in a probably 14 by 14 square foot room that will house everything that we need to start this business. So I hope you're excited as I am. But as we go through this message today, I want you to do a couple of things. So imagine your growth in life, in your career, in sports, in your relationships, as you build a business, as a journey of water. It starts small as a stream, it's focused and narrow, and as it builds strength, it becomes a river. Widening, it becomes more powerful, kind of shaping the landscape around it until eventually it transforms into a waterfall, leaving a lasting mark on everything it touches. So this is the performance capability continuum. This is what we call the Trisphereon, the path from transactional to transformational to transcendental. And in this video, we'll explore each stage and in detail show you how to move through them step by step. And as you do that, I want you to ask yourself a couple of significant questions. Is this true? And if it is true, what are we going to do about it? How are we going to make this work for us? And how can I improve my own ability to perform at the highest level on a consistent basis? So let's get in there and let's do this now. All right, let's go.
Lionesses will take the lead in any hunt, but a mother here has the added pressure.
Okay, YouTube, hope you're doing well. Ben Benson here. So I'm going to share with you this message on the Performance Capability Trisphereon, the continuum that we use that helps to identify high-level performance and excellence in any area of life, whether that's mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, in your relationships at work, on the field, on the court, wherever you might find yourself. So I hope you get some value out of that. Before we go into it, this is the headquarters of our fledgling business. And it's in my home, and we're just refurbing it. We're actually refurbing the whole house at the moment, but this is part of it. And so you can see around me that we've only got some walls painted. I've got new fire going in. We've had some new architraves put up, and so that's something that we're really excited about. The whole thing's looking good. And hopefully in a week or two we should be completely finished, so we'll actually have an office that we can use for our business. And so first stage, having somewhere to work that we can dedicate to the business is really important. It's a luxury to be able to go out and get an office, and we're bootstrapping this thing. So I hope you're enjoying the videos, and I hope you continue to follow us. We are going to take this business a long way, and we hope there will be opportunities where you can help us do that. And if you're interested in being a part of our journey, more than just being listening to the videos and what have you, then by all means get in touch. But in the meantime, we'd really appreciate it if you support us by subscribing to the channel, liking the videos if you do. And also the other thing is, if any of you have questions or issues around business that you want answered, then let me know. Put them in the comments, and I'll try and answer those for you as best we can. But performance capability, we're moving forward. We think we're doing something that's different, that's not been done before in this space, and so we're really excited to do that. And we look forward to getting in touch with you again soon. So anyway, over to the message. I'm going to play that now, so hopefully you'll get some value out of that, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself. See you soon. So the Performance Capability Continuum is a framework for understanding personal and interpersonal growth. It is not a quick fix or like a program of the month, but it's a progressive, integrated approach to developing effectiveness across all areas of life, whether that be work, sports, relationships, or personal development. The journey through this continuum moves from transactional to transformational, and then ultimately to Transcendental. Each stage represents a different level of maturity, mindset and capability. And each stage builds on the one before it. See, you can't authentically skip ahead without doing the work of the previous stage. So it's really important to get that as a distinction. But its path focuses on content, context, and contribution. Those are the three levels, where your performance effectiveness is no longer measured only by what you can do for yourself, but by ultimately at the third level, the contribution that you can make to others and to the wider world as a whole. So let's go through each of the levels, and I want you to imagine them like a stream, a river, and a waterfall. So level one is about managing the content. It's the transactional level. This performance is about managing the content of your actions. You're focused on the specific task in front of you, learning and refining what you do and how you do it. This stage is about gaining competence through repetition, following established processes, and building your skills inside a defined structure. See, at this level, it's defined by what I call practice-based learning. And practice-based learning is something I'm going to talk about more in other videos. Transactional capability is essential because it lays the foundation for everything that follows. Without a solid grasp of the basics, you can't expect to innovate or to lead. This is where discipline, focus, and consistency are forged. See, the central quality at this stage is really, it's about commitment. You commit to doing what's necessarily. Whether it's showing up to practice, completing your assignment for tasks at work, or developing healthy habits in your own personal life. In sports, this could be, a young tennis player who spends hours and hours each day practicing serves off their forehand, learning proper court positioning and footwork, perfecting all of the areas that are necessary to play a tight game of tennis. In work, it might be the entry-level employee who learns the systems, meets deadlines, and follows the standards set by their supervisor or their manager, for instance. In personal life, it could be someone learning the basics of cooking or maybe budgeting or exercise, repeating small foundational steps until they become natural and consistent. At this level, you focus primarily on execution. It's about getting the job done, essentially, producing reliable results and meeting expectations. It can feel repetitive sometimes or even mundane, but it's where your trust in your reliability is built. Both trust from others and ultimately trust in yourself in terms of your own ability to be capable and follow through. Mastering this stage means that you can be counted on, that you deliver consistently. Once this focus is stable, you're ready to take on more complex challenges, sort of understanding the bigger picture behind your actions. And that's where we really move to level two, which is transformational. So I want you to imagine this as a river. And this is really about mastering the context. Transformational capability represents a shift from simply executing tasks to mastering the context in which the tasks exist. What do I mean by that? Well, you begin to ask deeper questions. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing it this way? How does this fit into the larger picture or goal that we're trying to achieve? What impact does it have beyond my own immediate role? This is the stage where capability becomes dynamic. You start to see patterns, you make adjustments, and you contribute in ways that go beyond the simple checklist. It's not just about doing things right. It's about getting things done, but understanding why they're done at a much deeper level. The guiding principle here is connection or making connections. You begin to connect your actions to larger strategic outcomes, to the values of your team, and to the needs of people around you. You connect cause and effect, process and outcome, and this connection builds a sense of ownership and a much, much deeper level of commitment. See, this level is really about principle-based thinking. And what does that mean? Well, principle-based thinking means understanding how your context determines meaning and the system in which you're operating within. So, as a sports example, this could be the experienced soccer player who not only plays their position well, but also understands how their movement, timing, and communication influence the whole team's performance. They start to see the game strategically, not just tactically. In a professional context, the transformational employee looks beyond their immediate tasks and their immediate responsibilities. They propose process improvements and identify opportunities maybe for innovation and growth, and help align the team's efforts ultimately with organizational strategy, mission and vision, etc. They understand how their contributions maybe fit into the overall goal of the organization. In a personal sense, transformation might look like someone who not only maintains healthy habits, but also understands how those habits affect their relationships, maybe their emotional well-being, and the ability to pursue long-term goals. Growth at this stage comes from a willingness to adapt and take responsibility for the effects of their actions ultimately. See, at this level, you develop the ability to make informed decisions that benefit not just yourself, but the broader system you're a part of. By mastering the context, you're positioning yourself as someone who can think critically, solve problems, be creative, and build bridges between people, processes, and ultimately outcomes. See, this level is significant because it's a leap forward in capability, but it's still not the summit. What is the summit? Well, the summit is level 3. So we call that transcendence or transcendental. This is the waterfall, and it's really about making the contribution. At the transcendent level, this is the culmination of the continuum in a place where your primary motivation shifts from personal success to making a lasting contribution. At this level, you have already mastered content, you've mastered context, you know what to do, how to do it, and why it matters, but now your focus moves outward. How can my skills, my values, and resources make a difference beyond just myself? And you see this in people at the highest level. Ultimately, people that are world class. See, the core quality here is creation. Not just creating for yourself, but creating value for others. We call this values-based performance. This could be building a legacy, developing new systems that outlive you, mentoring the next generation, for instance, or solving problems with long-term impact for value creation. You operate in a space of what to do, and you align your actions with purpose and your deepest values. So in sports, transcendence might be the Olympic athlete who, after achieving personal glory, uses their influence to promote maybe youth sports programs, or mentor aspiring athletes, or advocate for positive change in the sporting community, for instance. In business, it could be a CEO who creates a culture of ethical leadership, invests in community programs, or pioneers initiatives that ultimately transform the entire industry. From a personal standpoint, you could imagine this as a parent or a teacher or a community leader who builds something that enriches lives long after they're gone. You know, whether that's a program or a tradition or a way of thinking, it really doesn't matter. But people at this level are no longer driven by external validation. They operate with a deep understanding of who am I becoming, and for whom is this going to benefit in the future? Who am I doing this for? The awareness of this is that the true effectiveness that they're creating and fulfillment come from a shared effort, collective growth, and developing others. They see success as something that is multiplied, not divided. Transcendence is not an endpoint, but a way of living, and is a continual process of aligning action with purpose, creating value that is bigger than your own needs, and inspiring others to do the same. So what we're really talking about here is the performance capability continuum really mirrors the growth, the natural growth of human beings. A dependent stage where you rely on structure and guidance while learning the basics. A transformational stage where an independent individual starts to think critically, or an organization starts to recognize strategically what they're doing and why they're doing it. They're taking ownership for their actions. And ultimately, the transcendental stage is where you collaborate, you contribute, and you create a partnership with others to do something that will probably outlive you. This progression applies everywhere. Everywhere you look, you will see it. In work, in sports, in personal relationships. It's the same pattern, whether you're mastering a new skill, building a career, cultivating a family or relationship, building a business, applying the continuum to life in practical terms. Committing to the basics really is competence through discipline, practice, and being reliable. Second, connecting with the bigger picture, understanding the deeper reasons behind your actions and building strong and meaningful relationships with that connection. Understanding essentially, why do I do what I do? What causes me to function this way? Recognizing my skills, my knowledge and influence can make a massive impact. It's looking at ways to move from simply performing tasks to living and working with real purpose. At each stage, you're building on the previous one, gaining deeper insights, contributing more effectively, and trying to find greater fulfillment in that for yourself and others. So the stream ultimately becomes the river becomes the waterfall, and the waterfall changes the landscape forever. The continuum mirrors the natural laws of human maturity and ultimately and performance. It offers a roadmap for growing from basic competence to deep contextual mastery, and then to finally transformative leadership in terms of contribution and in terms of really making a difference. It ensures that whether you're an athlete aiming for mastery, a business leader driving value, or an individual seeking maybe just your own personal development, you're progressing in a way that is sustainable, impactful, and ultimately meaningful. When you live this progression, you stop simply doing and you start shaping outcomes, shaping relationships, and shaping the future. You inspire others to rise with you, and you leave behind results and relationships that outlast your direct involvement. The stream becomes the river becomes the waterfall, and the waterfall changes the landscape forever. So there you have it, a deep dive into the process that drives high-level performance and lasting legacies. As a new brand and as a business, we want to add value to you and hope you found these distinctions useful. Please like and subscribe, and for more information, you can visit performancecapability.com or bensonspeaks.com. I'll see you in the next video. See you soon. Take care.